Hi, this is Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be a black screen, as its intention from me is to have you listen, to take in what I'm saying and apply it to your life where you see fit. The thing that I want to talk about today that keeps coming up in my life has been the same thing over and over again, which is radical acceptance. Radical acceptance. What is radical acceptance? It's been coming up in my life a lot for me to evaluate, to look over, and putting together this group that I'm doing for support. I have done research and printed up paperwork and trying to figure out how to communicate this in the best possible way to help others. And it just keeps coming back up in my own life, which is radical acceptance. So what is radical acceptance? Radical acceptance is a distress tolerance skill that is designed to keep pain from turning into suffering. Let me say that again. Radical acceptance is a distress tolerance skill that is designed to keep pain from turning into suffering. It says here on hopeway.com, while pain is part of life, radical acceptance allows us to keep that pain from becoming suffering. By accepting the facts of reality without responding by throwing a temper tantrum or with willful negligence. In other words, it is what it is. That is what radical acceptance is. The steps to accepting radical acceptance and to evaluate what's going on in your own life, there are 6 steps. The first step is to observe. Observe that you are questioning or fighting reality. It shouldn't be this way. Number 2, the reality. Remind yourself that the unpleasant reality is just as it is and cannot be changed. This is what happened. So based on what's going on in your life, first you observe that it shouldn't be this way, and then the reality sets in of it is this way. Number 3, the reason. Remind yourself that there are causes for the reality. This is how things happened. Number 4, practice. Practice accepting your whole self, mind, body, and spirit. Use accepting self-talk, relaxation techniques, mindfulness, and/or imagery. Number 5, list. List all of the behaviors you would engage in if you did accept the facts, and then engage in those behaviors as if you have already accepted the facts. And number 6, imagine. Imagine in your mind's eye, believing what you do not want to accept, and rehearse in your mind what you would do if you accepted what seems unacceptable. These are 6 steps to reviewing and accepting what the reality is and how you got yourself there, what you've done as far as your own radical acceptance to your own situation. This does not mean that we roll over and become helpless. Rather, we acknowledge that denying the facts of reality will not change the facts, but keeps us stuck in thoughts such as, this is unfair. Why me and why now? That is a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? The acceptance that you played a part in your own life and in your own choices, your own reactions, whether that be a truth coming to light and it says one thing not to do is to react and throw a little temper tantrum or willfully neglect your feelings either. So it's more like accepting that you have a problem in your life, Observe that problem. Make it a reality in your life that is what's happened. Give yourself the reasons why you've reacted this way. Practice better self-talk, better self-care, using mindful meditation, imagery, relaxation techniques. And then you can sit down and list everything that you've engaged in and literally put it in categories of where you fit into it. Be honest with yourself. List everything, your behaviors, and everything that led up to this moment. And then imagine yourself in your mind's eye, believing that you've accepted it, learning to release it, and accepting the fact that everything that has happened up until this point had a purpose, had a reason, whether it's to wake you up, whether it's to make you reevaluate your life, whether it's meant to bring people that are not good for you in your life. Having that radical acceptance that things are not good in your life is the first step to radical acceptance. What did you do? How did you play a role in it? What is your part in it? And how did you impact the outcome? Radical acceptance is not approval, but rather completely and totally accepting with our mind, body, and spirit that we cannot currently change the present facts. Even if we do not like them, by choosing to radically accept the things that are out of our control, we prevent ourselves from becoming stuck in unhappiness, bitterness, anger, and sadness, and we can stop the suffering. That is a summary of what I have learned based on radical acceptance. There are steps to take. There are feelings to go through. There are things that need to be written down and expressed. And if you cannot do that verbally, then pull out your notebook and write it. No one's going to be there. No one's going to read it. No one's going to care except for you. That is one thing I've had to do, is go within and expect what I got in my own mind, battling my own little demons of whatever is going on. Okay, but it's about being mindful. It's about distress tolerance. It's about emotional regulation and interpersonal effectiveness. Accepting it. Just accepting the fact that you got yourself where you're at. Whether you've lied to yourself, whether it's lying to other people, whether it's manipulation tactics to get what you want, whatever it is that is going on in your life, put it where it fits. I guarantee if you think long and hard, there might be at least one or two things that pop up in your mind that you've had to radically accept. That no matter what, it is this way. You got yourself here, and now how are you going to get out? Thank you for letting me share that with you guys. It's really, really weighing on my heart lately. So once you've radically accepted things, whether you threw a temper tantrum, you called it like it was, you called out lies and manipulation, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the fact that you have to radically accept that things are the way they are. And no matter what, you put yourself there. By accepting that self-reliance and that, hey, I did this, that is what is expected. The radical acceptance is accepting the fact that you put yourself there. But we don't have to stay there. We don't. We can evaluate our lives and where we've messed up and the people we've hurt. And we can make amends with the people that we've hurt. I like to believe that. So one thing I've also come across lately is more like, how do we pick ourselves back up? How do we get our personal power back? We've given it away, we feel powerless, and it seems increasingly dangerous, or, It doesn't matter whether you're watching the evening news and you feel for the pain and suffering of the world. It doesn't matter if you're having a problem with one person, but it's the internal battle. It's the depression and anxiety that comes with it. It can drain you. It can take your personal power. And the more you allow it to affect you in your life, the more draining it becomes. And it becomes a cycle. It becomes a repeated pattern. Just remember, our thoughts become reality. One thing I've struggled with has been, and always has been dealing with my past, my trauma, my need to forgive, my need to accept the facts, and whether that's in family or business or relationships with other people, whether it's a counselor that you go to for help and they tell you something that you don't want to hear. Radically accept it, dude. Just radically accept it and say, okay, you're right. Accept it. First thing is stop giving away your power. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't. So stop doing it. And when I say that, I'm talking about the thoughts, the memories, the past mistakes, the trauma bonding, whatever it is that you're involved in, whether it's with a coworker or family, your own children, whatever the case may be. Radically accept that this is the way it is. Okay? And stop giving away your power. Don't do it. Examine why it's good to be a victim. Once you start chipping it away, man, your self-worth and everything else comes up to the forefront. Being a victim is selfless pain. That's what it is. Telling yourself that you don't really count, you can't make a difference in the suffering you endured, becomes part of your being. I'm the victim and therefore I'm going to make other people suffer. You want to protect yourself. Victims have a lot of good reasons to their plight, okay? Forgiving abusive spouses become forgiveness is considered spiritual, okay? Forgiving abusive spouses. They are enabling an addict because tolerance and acceptance of others is equally spiritual. But if you stand back, victims in such situations are deliberately trying to suffer and bring suffering upon themselves. So you give your power away. There's enough abusers and addicts, control freaks, petty tyrants, drain your power. It's called energy vampires. But once you see that, you can take back your power and say, you know what? I put myself in this situation. I'm not happy. So therefore, I'm going to examine my life and weed out what is good and what is not. That is taking your power back. So first, you have to see it. Then you have to examine it. And then the next step is to develop your core self. In other words, re-engage with yourself. Ask yourself, what can I do from here? Everything from the past is gone. It's not working. It never did. Blah, 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 the way I reacted. So what am I doing? What do I need to do now to become mature? To mature is a decision. Adulthood is an achievement, one that requires and results in personal power. Take back your power. Evaluate and examine where you're at and what put you there, and then start to create the new you. Align yourself with the flow of evolution and personal growth. Okay, so resetting new goals, new passions. The trick with this is that you have to have follow through. Even though you're stuck, you're aligning yourself, you know what you need to change. Sometimes it's very hard to change. Just so you know, a habit can take up to 90 days to fester into something new. So even though we've radically accepted our problem, we've aligned ourselves, and we have evaluated our situation, it's now time to evolve personally. Find your support network. Face all the natural choices that have gotten you there, whether it's with anger, violence, fear, control, dogmatism, skepticism, unvirtuous acts, prejudice, addiction, intolerance, and unconscious problems that you have within yourself. It is difficult. It's easy to talk about this with you guys, but it's harder to put it into practice. Just so you know, it takes up to 90 days to change one habit. But you have to trust in that. That as long as you keep persevering and you keep pushing forward and you keep evaluating the things that you've allowed in your life, whether it's the past memories or trauma bonding, it doesn't matter. The fact is that is the past. The past cannot be changed. No matter what you've done to get where you're at today, radically accepting the fact that you have put yourself there is all that matters. It's all about you when you think about it. What have you allowed in? What have you accepted? What have you said yes to that you wanted to say no to? You have to trust in that. You have to trust in a power that transcends everyday reality. We're not talking about religion or anything else here. We are talking about the subconscious and the conscious mind connecting itself, creating what I like to call the support network. You can call on God. You can call on whomever it is that you believe in spiritually to guide you through. Everyone talks to someone. I don't care what anyone wants to tell you. They can't sit there and say, well, I haven't talked to God. Well, you talk to somebody. Accept it. Hey, some people don't believe in God, but they believe in a higher purpose. So talk to whomever it is that you talk to and give yourself some patience. Support your life and your evolution and your creativity, okay? Don't be trapped by, I must be worth more than I imagined because look at this beautiful thing I created. It's not a me attitude. It's a we attitude. You can only handle me so much. But when there's other people involved, it's more like, what are we doing? Okay. First thing on how to get your personal power back, intelligence. Now, I'm reading from the Chopra Foundation. I printed up this paperwork, like I said, for my group and how I'm going to incorporate it into other people's lives and also my own by taking back my personal power. First thing is intelligence. Let your mind lead the way. You start having newer, more exciting thoughts than the old habitual ones you've been following. Beliefs are challenged, new points of view attract you, so you move towards them. You'll want to expand your mind in place of living behind defenses and boundaries. The second thing, love and compassion. You have to learn to forgive yourself and then others. Fantasies of hurt and revenge are replaced with emotional softening. That's what happens when you accept it and you start to take back your personal power. You find the love and compassion within yourself to forgive yourself for what has happened and then learning how to forgive others who've hurt you. Can't be stuck in those fantasies of revenge. You'll notice the change when you start to take back your power, that those little things do not affect you anymore. You'll see that there's untapped love around you, so you move towards it. The fact that your desires to love and to be loved starts to motivate you without excuses or feeling unworthy. That is a big one. When you start to feel the love and compassion within yourself, it motivates you to stop making excuses. and to take action in your life. Quantum leaps is the next step. Notice and learn. When you have an epiphany, a moment of dramatic awakening, these are the great aha moments and the experiences that peel away the entire layer of your reality. That is another thing that I'm working on right now, is peeling away the layers, peeling away the trauma and everything, and looking at myself in the raw. It's kind of like being naked for the first time again, like being reborn. The next step is devotion. Understand that life is full of awe and wonder. From this, you see a reason to revere your own existence. You have been placed in a world where you can be devoted to something, and the worship gives you a sense of worth. Okay, well, by doing this, these escape routes all lead back to the person you really are. And that person knows that what really counts extends far beyond the individual. The glory of creation, the beauty of nature, the heart qualities of love and compassion, and the mental power to discover new things. And those unexpected epiphanies, the aha moments that bring the presence of God or whomever you believe in. This is the true source of your power. They are you, and you are all of them. Don't give up. Don't keep playing the victim. Don't keep accepting things that are not good for you. If I've taught you anything in this message here, was to accept when things are wrong. Accept when it's time to let go. And saying no when it's needed. Stop playing the I'll save you game. Take back your power by distancing yourself from toxic people. Your life will be a lot better for it. Take back your power of letting go of blame. That is a big thing that's played in my life. Has been the blame game, the back and forth. Stop it. There is no blame. Because what did I say in the beginning of this video? Radical acceptance is accepting your role in what is going on. Stop the blame game. There is no blame. Whether you've been cheated on, whether you've been manipulated, swayed, used, or abused, it doesn't matter. What did you do to get there? How many red flags did you have before that happened? How many times did you confront your feelings and get them downplayed because they tried to say, oh, you're just making stuff up? Those are all part of the past trauma that I've dealt with on what makes me react the way I do. But I also spent years trying to blame the other party and not accepting what I did. When I finally figured that out years ago and going through 6 groups a week trying to learn about my anger, and they say, oh, you're bipolar, and I'm not bipolar, but yet I wanted to learn what the symptoms and things were for bipolar, so I learned. My family, I have a history of schizophrenia with my brother and my sister, and bipolar with that I've had to delve into the world of a schizophrenic, and it's scary. If you've ever dealt with a schizophrenic, when they get mad, their eyes turn black and they forget what they're doing. That is something that has to be radically accepted, that, hey, I have a problem and I think I need medical treatment or medication. If you can't seek that, people have a tendency to get lost in their fantasies, and they get into medications and they do drugs, and they keep living that cycle trying to blame everyone else and saying they're not the ones with the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you've got people like that in your life, just accept the fact that they are that way. And if you want to continue to be involved in their life, then you need to accept that that's the way they are. Because if you can't, you need to accept it, that you cannot handle it. And take back your power by letting go of the blame. Do not blame. Okay? It makes it harder. It makes it harder to take back your power and to be true to yourself again. It's not worth clinging on to. Just let it go. Trust yourself. You are more powerful than you think and far more resilient than you give yourself credit for. And you need to start seeing yourself as such. You need to trust yourself again, not when things will get better, not when you will become more confident, and not when the sun will start shining, but now. Have the courage to walk alone. That is another thing. We might not be with anybody for the rest of our lives, but we have to accept the fact that we are courageous enough to walk alone, that someone down the line can step in when you least expect it. But you have to let go. You have to trust the better things are coming. But you also have to be actively involved in your own recovery. That means you get up, you take your shower, you get out of the house, you find exercise, you find a group, a support group, something. But just know that you have to have the courage to walk alone. There will be moments in your life when you will be asked to take a journey into the unknown. Moments when nobody will be there to hold your hand and walk your path with you. When that happens, remember, you have absolutely nothing to fear. Your soul is there to guide you. And I'm going to leave you with this, okay? If you look within and ask for strength and for wisdom and courage, they will be given unto you. So fear not, even if you walk alone. And lastly, reclaim your power. Reclaim your power by doing the things you once loved to do, but for some reason stopped doing. I know all that too well. I'm finding my inner child again. By saying no when no is needed, and by no longer thinking of yourself as small, weak, or powerless, because you're not. See yourself as beautiful, strong, bold, and courageous being that you have been created to be. Realize that your life is yours to live and your power is yours to keep. You don't have to give it away to anybody. Remember that. Promise yourself to never give it away to anyone ever again. Don't ever give your power away. I've given my power away to other people, to my family, to, relationships and work situations. I've given it away. I've said yes to things when I really wanted to say no. I've accepted the truth even though I found the lie in it. And I continue to allow it to affect me in my life. I really hope that this helps someone today. And if you will, like, subscribe, and share to my channel. There will be more of this kind of stuff coming up in my videos. Even though most of my videos are full of musicians and music and everything else we're doing with the community here in Tucson, this has been always my passion, was to talk and to help others heal through their trauma in healthy ways. And one of those things is to get your personal power back. I've had to learn that the hard way, that this whole entire time I've been giving my power away. And I didn't know, because I wanted to feel safe. I wanted to feel secure. And I wanted to know that what I was doing was right in their eyes, not in mine. Every once in a while, I get a glimpse of my inner child coming back up, and I'm reminded of my innocence and what was taken from me then. So while I'm healing my internal inner child by visualization techniques, by consoling my inner child during the trauma, those little things like that have helped me. It has helped me dramatically. I cannot express to you enough how the visuals and the personal talk back to myself, to evaluating, writing, it has truly helped me to regain my power back, to find out what is good in my life and what I need to change. So again, I really hope that this helps someone out there. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave your comments below on what you would see or what you would like to see in the next video. If there's topics that you want to talk about, if there's something that's on your mind and you need clarification on, doesn't matter. Hit me up. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'm Amber Johnson with Helping the Good People, Sacred Sunday Circles, and everything else that I've been creating out of my own trauma. It is a stepping stool. Thank you.